A brutal gun battle erupted in Okigwe, Imo State, between the Biafran Liberation Army, BLA, with Musa boys and Asari Dokubo boys, allegedly linked with the Nigerian security forces. After the conflict, Musa boys reportedly set fire to homes in Biafra land, leading to public outrage and accusations of targeting innocent civilians. Locals, including a man from the affected village, confirmed that the arson was carried out by Musa boys and not the Biafran Liberation Army. Commentators criticized the tactic of burning civilian homes instead of confronting the Biafran Liberation Army directly in combat. Over 50 armored vehicles were reportedly deployed by the Nigerian state to fight the Biafran Liberation Army, but the group claimed they are still holding ground. Allegations arose that Unazi Oraz and others in diaspora are collaborating with the Nigerian government to undermine the Biafran Liberation Army by leaking locations. Critics lamented divisions among Biafran agitators, accusing them of selfish motives like power and money. There were references to ongoing farmer-herder conflicts, especially destruction of crops by Fulani herders, fueling regional anger. Some critics advocated for peaceful separation of Nigeria into independent entities like Biafra, citing deep-rooted ethnic and religious divisions. I want to walk you through what happened in Okigwe in Imo State and share with you the wider conversations it has sparked, all in plain, straightforward language. Earlier this week, a fierce gunfight broke out on the outskirts of Okigwe between fighters from the Biafran Liberation Army and a militia known as the Musa Boys, who are reported to have been operating alongside another group called the Asari Dokubo Boys. Witnesses say the Asari Dokubo Boys have ties to elements within the Nigerian security forces, though those forces have not publicly confirmed any direct involvement. According to villagers who saw the fighting up close, it was the fighters known as the Musa Boys who set fire to dozens of homes in the nearby Biafra land communities after the shooting stopped. I spoke with a man who lives in one of the affected villages. He told me that he watched the homes burn as the sun was setting, and that the people responsible were not the Biafran Liberation Army fighters, but the militia calling themselves the Musa Boys. He described how families were rushing their children and elderly out of their houses as flames spread. He said, "I saw them with my own eyes. They were laughing as they set the houses on fire. They were not soldiers of the Biafran Liberation Army." That first-hand account has fueled outrage across the region, because it is one thing to fight in open combat and quite another to destroy the homes of people who are not even part of the fighting. Commentators on social media and in radio talk shows have been quick to criticize this tactic. Many have pointed out that burning civilian homes does nothing to weaken the Biafran Liberation Army's resolve or combat capability. One commentator asked, "Why burn the homes of ordinary families when you know exactly where the fighters are hiding?" He argued that direct confrontation man-to-man would have been a more honorable approach and would have avoided punishing people who had no part in the clash. Others have lamented that the violence against homes has deepened the fear and mistrust among communities in Imo State, making any hope of reconciliation or dialogue even more distant. At the same time, there are reports that the Nigerian state deployed more than 50 armored vehicles to the area to support operations against the Biafran Liberation Army. Tanks and armored personnel carriers were seen rolling into Okigwe in convoys backed up by helicopter patrols. Despite that show of force, the Biafran Liberation Army issued a statement claiming that they were still holding their ground and that the heavy weaponry had failed to break their defensive positions. In their statement, the Biafran Liberation Army vowed to continue their campaign until they achieved their goal of independence for the territory they call Biafra land. Meanwhile, Allegations have surfaced that activists living abroad are cooperating with the Nigerian government to undermine the Biafran Liberation Army. A name that keeps coming up is Unazi Oraz, an activist based in the United Kingdom who has been vocal about the Biafran cause. Some people are accusing Unazi Oraz of leaking the locations of Biafran Liberation Army camps to the Nigerian security forces, making it easier for militias like the Musa boys and the Asari Dokubo boys to carry out attacks. Supporters of Unazi Oraz deny these claims, saying that he has always been transparent about his work and that he has no interest in betraying the movement. The whole situation has laid bare deep divisions among those who support Biafra's independence. Critics say that some of the agitation for secession has been driven more by individuals seeking power or money than by a genuine desire for self-determination. They point to bickering over leadership positions, accusations of embezzlement of donated funds, and competing militias that sometimes fight each other instead of focusing on the common goal. One commentator lamented that instead of uniting under a single banner, various groups have splintered, and that division has made it easier for their opponents to exploit them. Adding to the anger in the region is the long-running conflict between farmers and herders, which has flared up again this season. Fulani herders have been accused of letting their cattle trample and eat crops on farmland in Imo State, destroying the harvests of subsistence farmers. Those farmers, already struggling to make ends meet, feel they are being pushed off their land with no recourse. The sight of charred houses in Biafra land has reminded many of those same farmers of earlier attacks on their fields, and of the sense that the state has failed to protect them from destruction, whether at the hands of armed militias or roaming herds. In the midst of these tensions, some voices are calling for a peaceful solution. They argue that Nigeria is made up of so many ethnic, cultural and religious groups that coexistence has become impossible under a single federal government. They suggest that a peaceful breakup of the country into independent entities, such as an independent Biafra, would allow each group to govern itself, protect its own people, and avoid the cycles of violence that have plagued the nation for decades. Proponents of separation point to the referendum in South Sudan as an example, saying that a peaceful split is possible if there is enough goodwill and international support. At the same time, others warn that a breakup could unleash even more violence. They fear that carving Nigeria into smaller states could leave minority groups vulnerable, could spark border disputes, and could set off new rounds of conflict as each new country grapples with how to share resources and protect its citizens. They argue that the solution lies in reforming the federal system, strengthening institutions, and ensuring that all communities feel represented and secure within a united Nigeria. As for the immediate aftermath in Okigwe, the people whose homes were burned are now living with neighbors or in temporary shelters. Humanitarian groups have begun to deliver food, water and blankets, but those supplies can only do so much. The real challenge will be rebuilding trust between communities, holding those responsible for the arson to account, and finding a path forward that addresses both the security concerns and the political aspirations of everyone involved. When I think about the families in those burned homes, I cannot help but feel that something has gone terribly wrong. No matter how strongly one feels about independence or about who should govern, targeting innocent civilians crosses a line. It undermines the moral authority of any cause and deepens the wounds that already run so deep in this part of the country. I hope that cooler heads will prevail, that investigations will uncover exactly who gave the orders for those houses to be torched, and that the leaders on all sides will come together to find a way to stop the violence and begin a real conversation about the future of Biafra land and the rest of Nigeria. In the end, the story of Okigwe is not just about one gunfight or one group of fighters. It is a chapter in a much longer struggle over identity, governance, and justice. It is about ordinary people whose lives are shattered by decisions made by men with guns. It is about the hopes and fears of farmers whose livelihoods can be destroyed in an instant, and of families who can lose everything in the flames of a single night. It is about whether Nigeria can find a way to hold together or whether its divisions will pull it apart. And it is about whether the dream of a free Biafra can be realized without sacrificing the very people it claims to protect. As this conflict unfolds, we will be watching closely, listening to the voices on the ground, and hoping that peace, however it is achieved, will come sooner rather than later.
This fight is our fight. We must win.
Okwanta eze nke pastor ndị BMC ekwe ya nekwebe ya agbala ha ya ọkụ nere ahụ ya ụmụ ọma na-ezukwa akụ ụmụ ọma afọ akụ ụmụ ọma afọkwala lekwe na ihe na-eme akụ ọkwala akụ ka ha na-eme ndị amị DSS ebube agụ ndị DSS ọkwa ha na-eme ha kwunere ahụ ya eji ahụ ọnụ le aka ọnụ gụ erie le aka ọnụ gụ lekwe ya lee ya lekwu na ahụ ya ọhịa ọwa ọkụ ka na-emu ya ha lee ya ele ihe ndị a mere ndị owu Biafra Liberation Army ọ ebe a ka ndị Biafra Liberation Army nọ Biafra Liberation Army shebe afọ lekwe ya agbaala ya ọkụ Biafra Liberation Army shebe afọ afụkwala ha akụ bọtụ aka na agba ụlọ amaka m ihe ndị okwu ndị akụ na ha akpatụ m akụ na ha achọkwa okwu o lekwe ya lekwu na ahụ ya ọlụ mekekwu lekwe ya ọkụ na ahụ ya ọkarịkwa ada ọkarịkwa agba ọkụ kwunu na ahụ ya kwunu na ahụ ya ya awụ ụlọ ọfịa dazi ụlọ omeze ọya dị ha alụkwa hụ ndị a na-achọ nọtịn lekwe ya ndị a na-abịala ebe a na ha agbakwala ebe ọkụ lekwe ya kwunu na ahụ ka na ọkala ekwu ọkụ agwala ekwu ọkwa ka ọ ghara iwe ruo chirile ya dị na o mere otu ọzọ lekwe ya a na-achọ ụmụ ọma lekwe ya gbakwara ụlọ dị ụlọ ọkụ lekwe ya kwunu ndị anyị nkara ahụ ọkụ kala ekwu ya ọkwunu na ahụ kala ekwu ya ọ bụkwa ebe ọzọ adịkwaga ebe ọzọ lekwe na ya kwunu na ahụ ya ụlọ niile nọ n'akụ sọmọfụ ụlọ ndị nọ n'aka akụkachara ya ụnụ ka ga-ahụkwa ụlọ ndị emere nkụka ụnụ ka ya lekwecha ya ọ ha mere ha lekwe ụlọ ha kụturu ya lekwe na kwunu hụ ha mere ya lekwecha ụlọ ha awụha ọrụ ndị BMC lekwecha geeti mmadụ lekwe ha mere lekwe ya ọ ha mere ha ọkwacha ndị amị ọkwechiri ile ya ada na gịrị lekwecha ya kwunu na ahụ ya ụlọ ha kụkara akụkọ ebe a buru ibu na-enweghị ikwe na ya ahụ ụmụọma anụzikwanla akọ kwunu na ahụ ya ọkwa ka ọ ghara iwe ruo chiri ile ya awụọ n'ụlọ.
Hello fans, welcome to Magnetic Chicks TV. Biafrans, like they always say, after the fight, women will get the talk. A sị na ọ bụrụ na nwoke na-abụ n'osi ọgụ n'afịa, ụmụ nwaanyị enwere akụkọ. N'eziokwu ndị Musa boys enwerego akụkọ. Lezie n'ife ha na-eme ka ha na ndị Biafra Liberation Army nụchara ọgụ. Ha anachatazi azụ jee na-esi ụlọ ndị mmadụ ọkụ. Why burning people's house or why burning people's home? Are they the ones that fought you? They are not the ones you are fighting with. Go and pursue these guys. You know where they are. Ọ bụ ha merizi unu tiwusi unu anachatazi ebe a ka jidezie ndị na-enwere ife ha mere na-agba ndị a ga-agba na-akpụ ụlọ ndị mmadụ ọkụ. This man now that is saying this is from this village. You can hear from his mouth because he was there. He saw everything live and direct. He knew that it was the Musa boys that are destroying those homes, destroying those houses, setting it on fire. Na ebulana bụ n'ishogo aka ihe ebulana Abuja anụkwa n'ọgụ bụ ka amara onye bụ dike ọkwa na onye meriri ọ na-azụ gazuo n'ike ọ bụzi emerizie mmadụ ọ nachatazie ga na-esususi ụlọ ndị mmadụ ọkụ ka esuru ụlọ ọkụ kịta na o meena ka emerie Biafra Liberation Army. Setting all these houses on fire does not mean that you have defeated the Biafra Liberation Army. It's always good to allow people's home to be the way it is. Look for the people you are looking for. Face them man to man and not burning people's home. this man here is lamenting so seriously, because you guys know that 2 days on now, this guerrilla warfare has been going on seriously in Okigwe, that is in Imo State. More than 50 armored tankers are in Okigwe. They are doing everything to make sure that they will win this war against the Biafra Liberation Army. But you know they're possible. The Biafra Liberation Army, they give them what to.
Fellow Biafrans, greeting from here. Good afternoon. The Nigerian state, Nigerian terrorist zoo country, they need to leave us alone. This fight is our fight. We will fight to the end, and we will make sure we totally liberate Biafra land. In Okigwe, Biafra land, the Nigerian state have intensified on the attack. Right after Commander Gentle, just a few weeks ago, he made a statement. The Nigerian state have vowed that they will bring the Okigwe commander down. We rest assured them that we will fight and will defend Biafra land. Last night, I was following what is happening in Okigwe. I'm not able to sleep. And I figure out I have to be physically fit as well. That's why I'm doing this exercise, because you have to be physically fit, mentally, spiritually, and otherwise to be able to defeat your enemy. And for those supporting Ngozi Orabeze or funding her, what is happening in Biafra land in Okigwe today? Ngozi Orabeze hand is in it. Ngozi Orabeze team up with the Nigerian state terrorist country to bring both Ebubago, all the terrorists, and in Okigwe now you have over 50 armored tanks fighting against our liberation army. And the good news is that we are fighting back and we are dealing with them. Shame to you, enemy of Biafrans. Shame to you, those funding Ngozi to kill our own people. Any innocent Biafra that is killed, those that are part of funding the Nigerian state and Ngozi and her group, the innocent Biafra blood is in your hand. This fight is our fight, and we must liberate Biafra land.
No be small thing within the see there upon all the Ebubagos from Asari Dokubo. You know, Asari Dokubo will always come and say, my boys are doing it, destroying all ESN camps, destroying Samonepe camps, destroying Mazen and the Cabo camps, destroying their boys. My boys is doing this, my boys is doing that, my boys. This is Asari Dokubo way of, will I say, lying to his paymasters. But we can as well see that the Biafra Liberation Army are the ones that are doing the winning here because if not, why would the Musa boys come back and be burning people's home? Now, wow, Ogen Kene has already said it here. Watching and listening to Ogen Kene, he has already said or explained exactly what is happening in Okigwe. He accused Ngozi Orabeze that she is the one sponsoring the Ebubago, that she is the one leaking the location of the Biafra Liberation Army guys to the Musa boys, that she is the one sponsoring the Ebubago guys to fight the Biafra Liberation Army. I don't even know, up to today we are still saying this. What exactly is wrong with all these guys that are fighting for Biafra? What exactly is wrong with them? Why are they fighting each other? Why are they fighting themselves? Asị na onye ọkụ na-agba bịa adị achụ oke ọkwa inu ndị Igbo tụrụ ndị Igbo mere agha iji wee bụrụ ndị Igbo ọkwa ilu ndị nna anyị ha tụrụ na onye ọkụ na-agba bịa adị achụ oke mana n'eziokwu ị na-anya n'etiti ndị a na-azọda anyị Biafra n'ụwa ọkụ na-agba ha na-achụ oke. Why would Ngozi Orabeze and Ogen Kene them? Why would they be fighting for money or fighting for position? What is all this nonsense? Why the women are out there in the field dying, fighting against the Musa boys, and here the people that are in diaspora, they are here fighting themselves, doing all kinds of caricature on social media. Kashine kenyera ayaka o. And ihe niile aha anyị na-ekwu okwu ya bụ ka udo chia, maka na udo ka anyị ga-eji wee nweta ya bụ ihe nke anyị na-achọ.
You may not like what I will say here, or you may like what I say, but please, I want you to be logical. I want you to listen to it logically, because I'm going to tell you the real truth here, the right thing, the exact thing that happened. What has occurred that they didn't tell you, right? The first thing is transfer of aggression is the real thing that happened right there in Uromi. If you observe, it has occurred that the same people of that Uromi has protested before because of herdsman killing, the Fulanis killing them, raping their women and all that. That is what is present in the news. Okay? Now, to anybody, sometimes it is easy for you to take decision based on the fact that you are in the other side. But if you switch the coin, right? Let's see how it is going. Your reaction is going to be like. For anybody that have found itself in such situation from any place, right, any community, it is very easy for them to transfer the aggression when they see people that are similar. How existing anger, they immediately transfer it into these people and they kill them in a very, very, very dangerous way, in a humiliating way. Okay? Now, what is the background story that I want you to understand a little bit? That's why I say don't bring in emotion. First of all, if you have been following, you will see that there have been videos of Fulanis going to people's farm, cutting their cassava and give it to their cows to feed. Their cow is their investment. The Fulanis, their cow is their investment. Then the people's cassava is their own investment. So it means they are destroying other people's investment in order to build their own investment. But what happened? If you bring up such videos to the internet, what happened is that the northerners, right, will try to justify it, saying that they're saying all sorts of things just to justify it, while the West and other places, right, they will try to what? Say how evil it is and other, which means two different regions, right, cannot agree on the reality. All of us are playing around it. And I'm taking you to somewhere why the government will never take us serious. Right? Then the next thing is, look at the reactions of this incident from the south and the north and other parts. You see that the northerners are condemning it so much. It's so dangerous. But the southerners, when they condemn it, they will bring in previous incidents that occurred, but they will not say, okay, look at them, they are this Fulani, they have done this, they have done this, they have done this before, which means they are not really condemning it as the people in the north are condemning it. Right? Now, I'm taking you somewhere.
Mamadi anọkwakịta wee na-akọwa ka a ga-esi wee mee ka ọgụ a na-anụ n'obodo a kwụsị between the Fulani herdsmen and the farmers, because these Fulani herdsmen, they are getting out of hands. One good thing about all these things is that the Mazin Nandekalo warned people against Fulani herdsmen many years ago. He started shouting, crying since 2014 that dangers are coming from the side of the Fulani herdsmen, that people should be awake. I thank God that today the Yoruba nation is already awake, although it seems to be a bit late, but they are awake already. So many tribes or so many ethnic groups in Nigeria are already awake against these Fulani herdsmen. So this young man here is bringing solution on how things is going to be done. And one person again suggested that the best way of all these things is to separate is division. If this country is being divided, that there is no way these Fulani herdsmen, there is no way they will get that power again to come to someone's farm or and destroy the place or even buy the person. That is not going to happen again. All we are saying from the stables of Magnetic Gist TV is let there be a peaceful separation. I can always say that, we will always say this: Nigeria and Biafra can coexist as a neighboring country that is in African continent. Peaceful ones, we can do our business transactions. And enough of all this buying or more, it is too much. Thank you fans, thank you everyone for watching this video. Remember to subscribe with us, Magnetic Gist TV, for we remain the best. Bye.
But it is clear that this is an injustice. For instance, I'm just saying an instance, I'm not sure it is the lawyers that can decide this, right? Let all fight it. It doesn't matter, you are not a Shia, you are a Sunni, you are a Perika, you are a Christian, let's all condemn it. The reason for this is this. The reason for this is that if we are always taking side because that side is not favoring us, then anytime that there is a switch, right? Let's say for instance, if now they are doing it with, let's say, Shia, and the Shia, there is an oppression, it is clear, for instance, that what they are doing, the Shia people are doing is right, is that the government is oppressing them, and you are siding with government because you are not a Shia member. Tomorrow, when the government come for you, Shia will also side with the government. Next tomorrow or any other day, when the Shia come for Christians, the other Muslims will also side with the government, and that is how it will continue. We will not be able to get effective solution to the problems we have in Nigeria. If something happened to Muslims, let CAN, the Christian Association of Nigeria, come out and defend and say it. They should condemn it. They should work tirelessly as well to see that if it is government that is oppressing Muslims or let's all come out together and fight it. If it is Christian that is being oppressed, the Association of Muslims should work hard in order to ensure there is justice. Justice doesn't have religion. It doesn't matter you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, it doesn't matter if you are Shia, you are whatever, it doesn't matter if you are from the south or you are from the north. If you do not collectively focus on fighting justice, what will happen is that each time there is need for people to come together and fight injustice, there is going to be division. And once there is division, that is where the government is going to be using, and that is how they are going to continue to destroy the country. Had it been that Muslims, not the Christians, the Northerners, the Easterners, and the Westerners used to fight collectively for common problem like this, when this incident happen now, when everybody come out, those people from that will nearly run away, and people will not try it again. This is it. The division is what is causing everything that is going on. I remember Muhammad Iyas Pada.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.